Welcome to Understand by Design, Stage 3. This is video 3 of a 3-video series providing an overview of the process of Understand by Design by using the template. In Stage 3, we will go over the process to follow in the template. Our big goal in this stage is to plan the learning experience for the student to determine what we consider as acceptable evidence to capture the big idea of our unit. In this section that you see on the screen, you should be developing your SMART learning objectives. This section is called the Where To in the learning plan. Your goal in this section is to give the students the direction of where they are going and hopefully give the instructors some insight to where the students have been. Here we are talking about relevance and diagnosis. In this section of relevance, you're identifying what the benefit to the student is. What will the student gain from learning this information that the unit is providing? The next section is diagnosis. This is where you're attempting to merge the known and the unknown. You want to be able to identify and correct any misconceptions about the material. In this section is where you're going to be trying to do that, trying to lean forward and identify what misconceptions may exist and how you're going to diagnose that and how you're going to go about fixing that. In the next section, it's the hook and hold section. So in this day and age, as I'm sure that you guys know, the ability to hold a student's attention for more than like half a second almost seems like an impossible feat. So in this section, you're going to pre-plan and identify the ways that you can capture or hook the student's attention and maintain or hold it for long periods of time. You'll also identify any technology that you will use. As we all know, the generation that we're teaching now is very technology savvy. They're used to using technology in all facets of their life. So if we identify technology that we feel like will help hook the student, it will give us a better foothold. So part of our job as educators is to equip the students with experiences, which feeds into this next section of it, which the next section is called, as it says on the side, equip students, help them experience the key ideas and explore the issues. So if we give them the illusion of experiences or real experiences, we let them explore the issues and discuss the key ideas. It can really help and solidify those concepts for the students. So in this section, you're going to define how you're going to work that into the big idea of your unit. How are you going to help the student find the big idea of the unit? And then how are you going to give the student opportunities to kind of reevaluate what they thought the big idea is and where they're at now with what they think the big idea is and what they think the end goal is. They need to continuously be rethinking, revising, and refining as they go and kind of polishing their work. And in this section, you're going to define how they're going to be able to do that. Reflection, as we learned back in 8110, reflection can help the student improve their misconceptions. It can burn some of this knowledge into long-term memory, which can help with the big picture things as far as transfer knowledge and all of those big things that we want as educators. So you really should be building the self-reflection into your units, and that is what this section is designed to help you do, to help you build in those self-reflections and self-regulations. And it also talks about formative feedback. So in the formative feedback, how are you going to be able to get formative feedback for the students so that they can improve their work. So this would be giving the student the opportunity to turn in an assignment, get some feedback on it, and then be able to turn in the assignment again for a final grade. And this section is giving you the ability to design assignments and stuff to be able to give that formative feedback, which is so important for the students. In this next section, you're really starting to think about the final touches of your unit. You're really just kind of putting everything together. You're wanting to organize this unit into creative, higher order skills and mental habits of mind. So, making sure that you are integrating those processes into your unit. And we're also organizing it in order to assess the student's learning and organizing it to use technology to analyze data. So, a big one for me for using technology to analyze data is using the LMS. The LMS offers you so much, and you might as well get as much as you can from it. So, it would be good for you to incorporate that into your unit. I think it's important to mention at this point in the kind of wrapping up our final portion of the stages of the template is that this template isn't a hard and fast rule. It's not saying you have to use every section of this template and fill it out in its entirety to be able to get what you need from it. The whole point of this template is to just kind of guide you into developing your lesson or your unit. It's more of a guide. And if you think about it more of a guide and something that's just kind of prompting you along your design path, I feel like, at least for me, it makes it a little bit easier to follow. I had issues of thinking of it as a checklist, and that made it seem mundane to me. But then when I think about it as little checkpoints to go as I'm designing my unit and making sure that I'm doing this and making sure that I'm doing that, and just kind of drumming up the thought process before I design my unit, it works much better in my head. So, you've done it. You have completed video 3 of this 3-video series. I hope you got some general understanding about how to use the UbD template to help you design your course. Farewell until we meet again.